Hey y'all, it's Devin with Warm Your Buns, and I'm here to teach y'all how to be crafty. Today's video, I'm gonna teach you basic stuff you're gonna need to learn how to crochet. We'll talk about the crochet hooks, we'll talk about the yarn, and we'll talk about the other essential materials. So come on with me and let's get started. Here's some examples of crochet hooks. We'll start here. You can also use bamboo or wood, I just don't happen to have one. This is plastic. Pretty inexpensive. They come in all sorts of different sizes. This here is just a real simple aluminum one. This one is also aluminum, except it has this nice, soft, gripped, ergonomic handle to it. These ones happen to be my favorite. I started off with this set right here. This is the first crochet hooks I've ever bought. Actually, I think they were a gift for Christmas one year, and I still have them. So this is what I started out with. It's just your Susan Bates crochet hooks. It comes in a 6-pack. I'll have everything linked down below in the description if you're gonna wanna buy some. I have since then graduated to these lovely clover hooks. Whoops. They're some of my favorites. Every crochet hook, don't quote me on that because I actually have one that doesn't have any sizing on it. It's gonna give you 2 different symbols. H, I tend to see that more in American US terms. I like to do 5 millimeters. I like to refer to mine in millimeters just because it's easier and my brain can wrap around it easier. So every hook is gonna have millimeters and a letter. It's a little difficult, but there is your millimeters. And then right there is an H, USH. It also, they number theirs too. This one doesn't have it. So 2 different kinds of hooks. There's this one. It has a little pointier end to it, and it's more sharp right there as compared to these ones. It's a little more round. They do the exact same thing. Some people prefer these ones. I prefer these ones. Like I said, I did start out on these. Nothing wrong with them. I just upgraded myself. Some other things you're gonna need are some darning needles. They come in all sorts of different sizes. This one's kind of big. It's just for weaving in your ends when you're finished with a project. You put your thread or your yarn through here, and then you're just gonna weave it in. They're not sharp at all. They're actually really dull. Most of them are. You're gonna need some stitch markers. These are really helpful when you're starting out. They, you can use them to mark your first stitch, so you know when you're coming back to it where exactly you need to stop, where you started. You mark different spots in your pattern. You don't need these. You can do a little cheat sheet that I'll teach you later, but they are really nice. You're also gonna need you a pair of scissors, little tiny craft scissors, your basic kitchen scissors. No matter, you're just gonna need something to cut the yarn when you're done. All right, let's talk about yarn. So here we have yarn. This comes from Hobby Lobby. It's one of my favorite kind. On the back here, you'll see on most of them, they'll kind of have this little triangle thing. So you'll see the hooks. This is for knitting. So if you were to knit, this is the size knitting needles you would need. If you're gonna crochet, which I hope you are, this is the side crochet needle you're gonna need. It'll also tell you what it's made out of, how much is in there, ounces and grams. I prefer yards because, again, I can visualize how many yards is 250. I can't really visualize how long 5 ounces will get me. It'll tell you right here the size. Let's get a little closer. The size of the yarn. This is just a medium 4. Over here, it's gonna tell you, over here it'll tell you the color, what lot it came from, what number the color corresponds to. A lot of yarn comes actually with a free pattern. So when you take this sleeve off, on the inside there will be a pattern for this bag. So this is actually called a scheme. So from now on, we're just gonna work with this kind, a medium 4. So when you go out to get your supplies, look on the back of the label and look for medium 4. Red Heart from Walmart, that's a good one. Here's some alpaca yarn I got from Australia. Again, it's a little different, but it also tells you everything you need to know. It has what it's made out of. It tells you the needle size. It'll tell you the size of the yarn and how much is in there, yards and meters. It also tells you the color, batch number it came from. Over here, it'll tell you how to care for it, how to wash it, how to dry. Here is some crochet thread. This is what I use for doilies. Again, over here, when you get really small like this, the needles can be referred to as numbers because they're so small, but they will also, sorry about that, they'll also have millimeters on there. This is size 0, used for lace. This one also gives you the care. Here is the color. And this one also has a free pattern. You just have to go to this website to get it. Here we have some cotton. Cotton is good for anything you're going to use heat for because it won't melt. The acrylic will tend to melt if it gets hot enough. So I like to use cotton for any hot pads, washcloths, just a little more gentler. Cotton tends to hold and dry better than acrylic does. You can use it for your reusable Swiffer sweepers. You can make little cotton rounds to take your makeup off, wash your face. So again, on the back, it's kind of like the first one. It tells you the size. It tells you the hooks you need for either knit or crochet. And it'll tell you how to wash. And then it'll tell you the color. Alrighty, let's learn how to tie a slip knot. So how I do it, I just take it, this is called the tail. It's not connected to anything. We'll refer this to the tail. I like to take my index finger, take the tail of the yarn, wrap it around my finger, and make a circle. You're going to take your tail, cut that circle in half. You're going to push that little half up while holding onto the tail. You don't want to let that through. And you're going to pull. And you're going to pull your tail till it's tight. And there you have a slip knot. Let's go over that again. So take your tail. Let's make it a little bit longer this time. Wrap it around your fingers. Make yourself a little circle. Take the tail of the yarn and cut your circle in half. And push that little tail right up through the circle. Take your hook, push it through the little tail, and pull. And then you're going to grab the tail to pull it tight. And there you have a slip knot. Alright, now I'm going to teach you guys how to hold your yarn. There's so many different ways you can hold your yarn. Do whatever you feel is comfortable. This is just how I like to hold my yarn, and this is how I'm going to show you. So once you get your yarn on your hook with your slip knot. Like to hold the tail away so it doesn't get tangled. With your non-dominant hand, you're gonna take it, put your pinky underneath it, and wrap it around once. And you're gonna take your index finger, go on top, and just kind of flip it over. And that's how you hold your yarn. You're gonna grab the end of this. So let's go over that again. Go over that again. You're gonna take your non-dominant hand, take your pinky, go underneath the yarn, kind of wrap it around once, bring your hand flat, take your index finger, grab the yarn, flip your hand back over, and there you have it. That's how I hold my yarn. It helps keep the tension so you're not too loose or too tight. So there's a few different ways to hold your hook. My preferred method is just simply in between my thumb and my index and hold it nicely in my hand. Some people like to hold it like a pencil. There's many different ways, just like you would hold your yarn, so pick one that's comfortable for you and stick with it. All right, so now we know the difference between the hooks, what kind of hooks there are, the different yarns, how to tell the difference, how to read the yarn labels, and the other materials to get started. I want y'all to go out, get you some crochet hooks, get you some yarn. We'll just get the basic one, like I told you, the ones you can use your scarf, just your basic medium 4. Just get one skein, and that's what they're called. This is called a skein. Just get one of those. You go to Walmart, Michael's, Joann's, whatever craft store you have, just go out and get one of those. Again, I'll leave any links down below to anything I showed. The crochet hooks, I'll try to find the link for the stitch markers and darning needles on Amazon, but again, you can get any of this at your local craft store. Next week, we'll actually start crocheting. So I want y'all to go do your homework. Come back next week. Bye.